Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here. It is Saturday, September 9th, but it's... Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides. I am sorry that my last video got interrupted midstream, but I got a ride request and it just it clicks off the camera when I get an Uber request. So you got to make money somehow, you know how that goes. But just to finish where I started, it's the end of the night. I'm actually done now. It is Saturday the 9th at about 3 a.m., 3:40 a.m., and I'm wrapping up my night. And, you know, I could have quit a little bit earlier. I was at 189 at around 3 a.m. And I'd gotten a ride all the way down to Arlington. And, you know, me being the stubborn person that I am, I set my goal for $200 tonight, and I wanted to get there. So I kept my app on. I drove back across the river to U Street, and on my way I did a couple little trips, and I got to 201 and change. So, you know, that's kind of where we stand. And then on top of that, I have 22 out of my 30 trips, 22 or 21, I'm not sure, for my extra quest money that I'm going to get. So, you know, really great night grinding in the city. I did a couple airport trips, but not that many. And I'm real happy. You know, it just shows, again, $200 a night average in DC. It's definitely a little bit more mileage, a little bit more fuel consumption because it's stop and go traffic, city driving. My average fuel economy was 23 miles per gallon tonight, which is not terrible. It's a heck of a lot better than I was getting with the minivan. But it is going to be a little bit more pricey in terms of gas because it's city driving. But I'll take it with the consistency of knowing that I can get, you know, $1,000 a week and then some. My goal for myself for... you know, here's where I'm an overachiever. My goal for myself for this week is really $1,125. You know, I would love to do $1,000 and cover my $120-something Uber lease payment. That would be a beautiful lift. And, you know, it's about a 10% increase, you know, $1,100 instead of $1,000. You know, rough math, but I would love to do it. I really would. And I think I can. I really do. So that's what I'm shooting for. I've got to basically do 215 to 220 tomorrow, and then maybe 215 to 220 on Sunday, and that number's in the bag. So that's what I'm shooting for, guys. I would love to stretch myself and you know, start pushing myself a little bit further. So, you know, that's where we stand there. I had a great night tonight. Not really anything dramatic happened. You know, it was just a lot of short trips. I did not have a single long trip tonight, which I'm fine with. I honestly am fine with it. Plenty of surge, plenty of boost in the city. I have still not figured out, and you know, maybe this is where somebody can help me. My knowledge of DC is not that great yet. I'm still kind of in the learning phase. And I know that U Street is a big bar scene, but for some reason, that northwest quadrant of DC, which I want to say is like Connecticut Ave and then west over to where like Foxhall is, you know, that gets the highest boost numbers, 2.0 at its peak tonight, whereas the U Street area was 1.9. And I know that Georgetown is over there. I know that there's a bunch of residential areas over there. You know, Waterfront, Main Street is over there, but none of that stuff is like late night bar scene. So I'm trying to figure out, is there a little niche neighborhood over there that I don't know about? Is there like a little college spot where the college kids party that I have not discovered yet? So I've got to do some homework because it eludes me that area is getting that level of boost unless there's something there that I'm missing. So I haven't figured it out yet. It's like an itch I can't scratch. But I will solve that puzzle for you guys, I promise, for myself and for you guys. So, other than that, guys, it was just a great night. Like I said, I have some kind of coming soon to a theater near you news. I can't really talk about it yet, but I think it'll be really, really interesting and exciting for all of us. I really do, and it's news that I'm curious to, I'm in kind of like an anticipation mode. That's all I can say. Other than that, I talked with a couple people that I've been, I keep in touch with on the road. And, again, I just want to say this, and I want to reiterate this because I feel like it's an important message. I'm not trying to keep any secrets with you guys. I'm really not. And DC is right now, it's kind of a hot spot. I don't think it's a temporary hot spot. I just think it's a more profitable place to be a driver than Baltimore and the outlying suburbs. I think it's more profitable in the scalability factor, in that there's Quest, there's Boost, there's promotions, there's just more clientele. There's a lot going on in that city as opposed to Baltimore. And then I think that as much as the airport can be fruitful, I think that there's an inconsistency in the airport business. And when I say the airport, I mean BWI. Dulles is kind of out in no man's land. If you get a ride to Dulles, that's great. It's typically a decent wait. It's not as slow as BWI, but it's not as fast as Reagan. It's kind of like in the middle. And you might get rides back to the city. You might get rides into Fairfax, Chantilly. I mean, it kind of sends you in all different directions. So it's kind of like its own little satellite entity over there. But, BWI as a whole, it's a great airport. I really do think it's a gold mine for people that want to work airport trips. I just don't feel it's consistent enough for my own sanity. Reagan being right in the heart of the city, you're not really getting any long trips out of Reagan, but you're getting a lot of trips out of Reagan. My wait times are typically 10, 20 minutes tops for a ride, and that's great. I'll take that. Especially during kind of the dead part of the day, like 7 to 9 p.m. is kind of like the dead spot in the middle there, where there's not a lot going on in the city right before it breaks loose and the night activity starts. So, that's my thing. And I was talking to somebody tonight, and I told him, I said, I haven't been around BWI lately, and I don't anticipate being around BWI lately because, these are the numbers I'm hitting, and I'm hitting them consistently down here in DC. And, there's no reason for me to come off really, really good fishing, and change up and go back to something that I know is inconsistent. And I told him, I said, this is what you've got to do. I told him to switch his Uber account. I told him to get Quest and Boost. And I told him, I said, look, I'd be happy to sit down with you and show you my screenshots, show you the money I'm making, show you the incentives I'm getting, so that you understand it's not a fluke. And that, and even show you the areas I'm driving in, because it's not that many areas, I'll be honest. I mean, destinations are all over the place, but I'm mainly picking people up around U Street, around the airport, around Arlington, there's around the financial district. There's not that many areas that I really get rides from, around Georgetown. So, I want people to be as successful as I am. I want all of you guys to be as successful as I am, because I feel like there's enough business to support us all. So I'm okay with sharing all of my secrets. End of story. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make everybody better. And I was talking to somebody about it tonight, a different person. I said, this is my way to give back. It's my way to contribute, to the workforce, so to speak, and raise all of us up, raise our bar and our standard a little bit higher. And if we all perform at that level and we all make the kind of money we want to make to be happy, then everybody goes home happy. Everybody delivers a much better level of service to the customer, meaning our passenger. And that's the goal. So, again, when I started driving in DC, once my promotions and the account change really kind of kicked in, it was kind of at an awkward timing, and I don't know how much I'm comfortable talking about this, but I'm going to, because I feel like I need to put closure on it. The vibe that I had at the BWI airport lot was really good. I felt like there was a level of camaraderie there. There's kind of this, office water cooler feeling, like there were these other drivers and we were social and we were talking. These funny little canopy tents that we put up, and lawn chairs, and the group that I was hanging out with, they were great guys. They really are. And I felt very comfortable. We were all kind of talking about our rides and talking about, what works and what doesn't, and where to drive and where not to drive, and, just trading our experiences with each other, good, bad, or indifferent. And something switched, something kind of clicked over. I was at the beach. I guess, like I said, I've talked with you guys. I've been full disclosure via these videos, but, something clicked over when I came back, because they had obviously discovered my videos from, either somebody that came to the airport looking for me, or just by however they discovered them. And maybe these guys didn't share my sentiment about, trying to make us all better. And maybe they felt protective of their techniques, their strategies, the airport as a mine of business. But for whatever reason, they felt like I was giving away state secrets, giving away something that they didn't want to be open to the public. And not only was there kind of that tidal sea change of attitude, but they misinterpreted some things, because I felt like they glossed over some things. Obviously, a couple of the guys that I felt very closely towards, I would call them friends, and I still would. Somebody or a couple of them saw some of my videos and probably breezed through them. I didn't really get a sense that they watched them in their true intent from start to finish, but kind of misinterpreted my message and misinterpreted how I felt about the videos that I'm making. And the way they kind of approached me with it, was a little bit hurtful. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit hurtful. It took me a little bit by surprise and kind of knocked the winds out of my sails a little bit. I'm not going to lie. To the point that I feel awkward going back to the airport. I know that sounds strange, but I do. I feel like it's not quite home anymore. And that's a funny feeling, because when I started this whole Uber experience, it was very much a solitary me versus the world. And this whole YouTube channel was really a catharsis. It was a way for me to be video diary / venting, sharing with the public, but it was very much, a public that was at arm's length. I wasn't really meeting anybody face to face at that point when I first started this. And the BWI airport waiting lot enabled me to actually meet people face to face, meet other drivers face to face, communicate with other drivers in an eye-to-eye setting, and not only tell them my techniques and trade secrets and learn from some of these guys that have been, had some great secrets of their own, but really make a connection with some drivers on a one-on-one basis. And I really liked that. But, the way they made me feel about what I was doing on YouTube and about the message I'm trying to convey, and the way I'm trying to go about doing it, kind of took, it was kind of like I got punched in the gut a little bit. And I'll be honest, I didn't like it. And so I made a conscious decision that, for one, I'm obviously going to, this is my living. I'm going to work smart, not hard. And if DC is more effective, I'm going to drive in DC. But I also kind of had a funny feeling, like an unwelcomeness. Something changed. And, maybe it was internally. I'm kind of an empathetic person, so I read feelings a lot. But, something had just changed. Maybe it was internally at me. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't feel a welcomeness there anymore that I felt before. And that's a hard pill to swallow. When this is still kind of in an infancy stage for me. I'm counting it in months. I've only been driving for a few months. So, that's where we are. And that's why I don't feel like, like I want to go back to BWI. The money's better doing what I'm doing right now. Now, will it change? Who knows? This is all exploration until I have, enough data, under my belt to say that it's steady for, the long term. For now, I'm going to keep driving in DC because it works. If something changes, I might switch up again. You guys know that I'm totally flexible when it comes to adapting my strategy. But, for now, it works, guys. It really does. And, that's why I'm in DC. I know this is my, Baltimore Rides is the name of my channel. And I feel like I'm a Baltimore driver because I live all the way out in Westminster, and, Maryland is my thing. But, I've got to go where the money is, guys. I've got to go where I can support my family the best way possible. And right now that means driving in DC and the greater DC area. So obviously I'm not going to reinvent my name. I'm not going to reinvent my channel. I'm still Uber in Baltimore because that's who I am. But this is about working smart, not hard, guys. And it's worth it to me. I drive an hour and 20 minutes from Westminster to DC. That's basically going 795 to 695 south to 95 south, and then kind of, getting into the city, one of a bunch of different ways. But it's an hour and 20 minutes. And it's worth it to me. That's a work commute. It's a long one, but it's worth it to commute to some place where I can make enough money to make a living versus, driving in an area that's not as profitable. And that's how I'm going to do this. If Baltimore got Boost and Quest and all that other stuff, I might change my mind. I might, but it doesn't. And so at the moment, it's not a debatable. At the moment, it just makes sense to do what I'm doing. That doesn't mean I've turned my back on all of you guys driving in Baltimore or North Baltimore or Towson or Bel Air or the city, whatever. There's lots of money to be made and there's lots of customers out there. And if you feel that driving in Towson or driving in Baltimore or driving at BWI is good for you, then God bless you. I want you guys to be successful and happy. I don't want you to do what I do like a bunch of lemmings, but I want you to learn from the lessons that I've learned from. And, I think that's a valid point, is that some of the mistakes I've made are mistakes that you hopefully don't make. Some of the areas that I've worked in, I hope you've at least learned those areas better because of the information I've passed on. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, obviously. So we're going to wrap the video up. It's a little bit of a long one because I kind of vented there, and I appreciate you guys for hanging with me and listening to the video, even though it's kind of longer than usual. I needed to say some stuff that I said, and I feel it's good for all of us to learn. I don't harbor any ill will. I still think the people that drive BWI are great people. I really do. I vouch for them. They're good people. They have great big hearts. They really are the greatest of people. And a lot of them I actually miss the day-to-day contact with because they're just a good bunch of guys. And but until I get to a point where I'm comfortable, this is the right thing to do for me. So because there's a hurt there that I haven't quite got over yet. It's hard to say, but when people talk behind your back and then you learn of it, that stings. It stings. So until the sting goes away and the wounds heal, I'm gonna give myself the distance I need to process that, and then one day maybe I'll be at a point where I can say to these people what I need to say to them. But right now it hurts. It hurts to think that there's people out there that didn't really understand what I was doing, didn't say, hey Mike, what are these videos, and approach me and ask me and say, tell me what you're trying to do here, tell me what your thought is. They just took it upon themselves to interpret, and maybe misinterpret, maybe not. Maybe my message is blurry, I don't know. But instead of coming to me and opening up a dialogue, they didn't do that. And so that's that. But I've said enough. Thank you guys for being my shoulder on this one and just letting me rant a little bit. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being out there and listening to me, guys. That means a lot to me that you guys are out there and you're hanging with me. Some of my videos make sense, some of them do not. You guys know me by now. I make videos in the wee hours of the morning, and I'm usually tired at that point, and kind of frees my mind to be very open. But sometimes you kind of get verbal diarrhea from that. I understand that. So, maybe tonight is one of those nights. I don't know. I'll let you pass judgment however you see fit. But it was a good night, guys. It was another good night, another strong performance from DC. It's fun. I'll tell you, it was a little bit hairy. There were some touch and go customers that almost barfed in my car tonight. So there's a funness to being back in the saddle and city driving and late night party goers and those kind of antics. I kind of missed that. The airport customers are very mellow by comparison. So it's interesting being kind of like coming full circle. Driving the city, then not driving the city, and now back to driving, city customers again. So, I'm sure there'll be more stories to tell, but tonight was pretty mellow. Just a couple moments where I thought people might barf. So, have a great night, everybody. I will be back on the road tomorrow, and, this is it, guys. This is going to be a big week. I have really good feelings about it. So we'll see what happens. Talk to you guys later. Bye.